Mental diets for faster manifestation. In today's video, we're going to be talking about this incredible Neville Goddard principle of having the inner conversations that truly help you create the reality that you actually want. Let's get right into it. So to start off, like my other Neville videos, I do want to read you a quote, which I really found fascinating in this lecture. Neville said, "Our inner conversations are perpetually outpictured all around us in happenings. Therefore, what we desire to see and hear without, we must see and hear within." And this is so crucial. Okay, the concept of mental diets, right? We're so constantly, just moving the mic real quick, we're so constantly paranoid about, consuming the proper foods, like drinking the right amount of liquids and whatnot, and all this stuff on the surface, right? Taking care of our physical health. However, internally, we're completely just unconscious, and we entertain all sorts of thoughts and have no direction and no purpose towards which we align our mental conversations. And Neville said that this is the reason that everybody's lives look so sporadic and random and chaotic even sometimes, because those people whose lives look like that are not in charge of their mental conversations. They are creating their reality unconsciously. Whereas if they really wanted to start seeing and hearing the things that they really want outside, they have to become more mindful of what they are hearing and seeing within. And this is what a mental diet is: taking constant inventory of the mental conversations that you're having throughout the day. How many times have you had a interaction with a person outside that maybe it didn't go your way, right? Like, let's just say you had an argument, and then for the rest of the day, you're constantly replaying that argument in your mind, maybe thinking bad about the person that you had an argument with, or maybe thinking about different case scenarios where, like, oh, I could have said this, I could have said this. And you're just like unconsciously thinking about, and you're stuck in that negative vibration. That is your mental conversation for the rest of the day. What do you think that's going to create going forward? Or how many people do you know that are constantly complaining about the objects of their experience, their reality, right? The people in their reality, the circumstances, maybe their job. Like, you have such negative mental conversations about your job. Like, I hate this job doesn't bring me anything, I'm unfulfilled. Even your business. Some people even hate their own businesses because they have that negative relationship with them. So it's like, what Neville is trying to say here is that the inner conversations you have about your business, about your job, about your partners, about your parents, friends, family, anybody, these mental conversations will manifest outside. The nature of these mental conversations will manifest outside, and you will experience them as your physical circumstances. So if you constantly have that mental conversation about your job being like dreadful and annoying and just like such a place you don't want to be at, then you will experience more and more things at your current job that make you feel that way. The nature of your mental conversation will manifest outside, right? If you're constantly constantly focusing on the negative qualities of your partner and having these kind of negative mental conversations where you paint your partner in kind of a negative way within, then that is exactly how they will show up in your reality outside, so on and so forth. And so it is so crucial that we take constant inventory and live our day consciously, constantly just coming back to, okay, what was I just thinking, right? How was I thinking about something? So for that reason, to be much more mindful of your mental diets, I've created 3 things that you need to stop doing right now, and then 3 things that you need to start doing, okay, in order to have positive mental conversations so that they manifest outside as positive situations and circumstances. So let's start with what you should stop doing, okay? Number 1, stop having negative scenarios in your mind about conversations with the people in your life. Oftentimes, even though you have friends and, even your own partner, still you have negative conversations in your mind about this person. You're kind of painting out this person you're focusing on like their qualities that you'd rather have them like completely leave. You want them to stop being a certain way, stop acting a certain way. And that is what your mental conversation is about this person. Let that go. If you constantly paint a person to be in a negative way in your mind, that is exactly how they will manifest outside. So that is one thing that has to go, and you have to become mindful of it in order to just disengage from it. It's not like you fight those thoughts with more thoughts, but you just, every time you notice yourself thinking those thoughts, disengage from them. Okay, and then you could replace those thoughts afterwards with focusing on their better qualities. It's hard sometimes, but focus on their best qualities, and that's what you will start experiencing more of. You have to trust this principle in order for it to start working for you. But once it starts working for you, this trust is automatically built, and then you no longer have to have faith. You know it to be true. So practice this. Step 2, stop replaying negative situations in your mind. Okay, so many people, including me in the past, like anytime you go through a negative situation, that's what you're thinking about for the rest of the day. You're thinking about how it could have turned out, what you should have said, all these like scenarios that are no longer, they're not going to happen anymore. Okay, so why even waste your time thinking about them? Let go. Like, you just have to start learning to let go of the past, because it has already happened. The thing is though, the past, the physical situation, has already happened. However, if you continue to think about it and you continue to replay that past again and again in your mind, then now that is what is creating your future. So not only did you create a negative past, but you took that past and now with it, you're creating a future of the same frequency, of the same vibration. So stop replaying negative situations in your mind. That is a mental conversation you're constantly having too. So become mindful of that, disengage. Number 3, and this is very important, heal your relationship with the object of your experience. So, for example, someone has an old car that they don't really like anymore. So they're constantly talking trash about their car to their friends, to their family. They're like, single time they get into that car, they're just like, man, I hate this thing. I hate this car. I look ugly in it and whatnot. So see, when you're painting an object of your experience, car in this instance, in such a negative way, then what that car will hold for you, the meaning that it will hold for you in your life now on an external level, and the way that it will show up in your experience is going to be similar to how you think of it. So maybe the car start having to have more problems, starts breaking down all the time, starts giving you more trouble. You see? Everything is connected. All these things that seem outside of you and separate from you are not so separate. All these things that feel so solid and real are just mind in motion, your imagination in motion. And so if you constantly think negatively about these objects, maybe for this, like if I constantly talk trash about this camera that I'm recording this on, this camera maybe would stop working or start having technical difficulties and whatnot. Okay, so create that opposite relationship. Okay, now you have to start healing your relationship with all the objects in your experience. This doesn't mean that you go outside and hug your car and tell you love it so much, but instead start to focus on positive qualities of what you do have. Start to appreciate what you do have. Yes, I know this camera isn't the best camera in the world, but it has made me a lot of money. It has done so much for me. It has helped me create such an amazing business. It has helped me get started here on YouTube. This is the same camera that, I've had for the past year now. Like, I'm focusing on the amazing qualities of this camera and why I appreciate it rather than, man, it's not the best. It doesn't have as many megapixels, all that, like all these technical things, right? Focus on the better qualities of what you have in your life. Cars, like home, anything you use, even your own body. Heal your relationship with your reality, and reality will reward you for that. Okay? Watch your mental conversations about how you think about everything that is in your experience. That is why gratitude is such a big thing. Gratitude will literally heal your reality. Gratitude will start having your reality vibrating at the frequency of love and acceptance, and things start to flow more easily, and just you start having this harmony in your reality, which is the vibration of the nature of your relationship with everything in your reality. Okay? So those are the 3 things to stop doing. Okay? Now, 3 things that you should start doing is be very watchful and mindful of your mental conversations. Throughout the day, here's what I do. At least 10 times, I just wake up, and this is something you have to remember to do, right? Just wake up, realize that, I was just thinking unconsciously, and then drop all your thoughts. Just for 2 to 5 seconds, just drop all your thoughts. Just let them go. And just become this full, alert, present person, this being. And then you can ask yourself, what was I just thinking about? How was I thinking about it? Right? And how could I change that? Become aware of your mental tendencies and where they tend to go. And in order to shift that, you need to start, mindfully directing your mental conversations. Now, second, have the conversations in your mind that you would like happening outside. So when I say the word conversations, it doesn't necessarily mean you talking to someone in your mind and that's what you want to see outside. But I'm saying, like, let's just say that right now you're an employee at a company that you don't really like and you want to own your own business. That is your goal. You want to be working for yourself. So start having thinking in your mind the thoughts you would be thinking if you already had that business. So let's say when you already had that business, you'd be thinking about, I need to buy these supplies, right? I need to buy this computer and this so that I can carry out my tasks. And this you already have in the business. So even though you don't even have to buy the computer right now and those supplies because you don't have the business right now because you're working for somebody else, start just thinking about those things. See, this is what aligns your energy to your desired self. This is what aligns your energy to that vision within you from which you start to create that reality because you start to resonate and radiate at that energy level, at that frequency. So for example, like before I was doing YouTube full time and I had my business regarding my coaching and everything, I was already thinking the thoughts of like having a successful YouTube channel. I was already thinking about being a full-time YouTuber. And then I just started carrying that out. I aligned my actions with that too. So not only was I having the mental conversations, but even though I wasn't doing YouTube full time, I just started pretending like I was. And I started to really treat it like I was. And every time I would make a video, I would treat it like, yes, I am doing this full time. And then it eventually just becomes reality. That's just the way it goes. Because you literally start vibrating at that energy level, right? And I've done the same with my business. I've done the same for my health. And I promise you this works. But you got to change how you think. If you're constantly thinking from the perspective of the person who hasn't yet accomplished what you want to accomplish, then you will always remain in a perspective of the version of you that hasn't accomplished what he wants to accomplish. But once you start to place your mind, your awareness, not your mind, when you start to place your awareness into the mind of the version of you that has already accomplished what he or she wants to accomplish, then you start to create this resonance, this congruency within the vibration. And when you start to vibrate at that frequency, now your reality starts to change. Things start to flow into your experience. Okay? So watch what you're thinking about and think like you would think and think about the things that you would think if you already had your goal achieved. Now, lastly, number 3, stay centered on your vision, and all the mental conversations that aren't in alignment with the vision, get rid of them. So here's the thing that Neville also said, that if you're constantly just trying to watch your mental conversations on the surface level and trying to change thoughts with other thoughts, you're going to fail. You're not going to be as successful. Whereas if you start to live life with purpose, with meaning, with vision, then you can start taking inventory of what conversations are serving me, what mental conversations are serving me, and what am I engaging with that is not serving me. Okay? Once you are living from purpose, then you have direction. Until then, you're just like kind of going in circles and creating randomness. So if you want outside to look like, oh, okay, this makes sense. This makes sense. I like this. I like that. Then you have to start living life with purpose. No longer can you just live every single day with just like, going about no purpose. Because you're free to do that and you have every right to do so, but then you can't want a life full of meaning and purpose. If you have no meaning and purpose coming from within, things outside will always just be random, and most of these things will be something that you don't like. And it will always be hard for you to actually control and become mindful of your mental conversations, because there will be no passion, there will be no drive in order to make that happen. This is not something that's super easy, right? So you need purpose. You need vision. And once you find that purpose and you start to live through that and you start to move towards it, now you can see like, okay, what am I engaging in within my mind that is not helping me create my vision? All the conversations about doubts, fears, maybe even like people, right? Even in your external reality, disengage from everything that does not serve your vision. And this will make it so much easier for you to have a clear mind, a mind that is actually serving you rather than you being its slave. Okay? So practice that. And if you put all these techniques to use, you will literally clear out so much garbage from your mind and start to use your mind as a productive tool that it is meant to be, rather than creating chaos in your life by letting the mind run loose. Okay? Now I'm teaching this entire process of reprogramming your mind and reprogramming those mental conversations in my free training, which is called the Create Your Dream Life training. And many of Neville's principles are actually in that training. Again, it's completely free. Just the link is down in the description box below. Make sure to give that a watch, okay? But other than that, let me know what other Neville topics you would like me to cover on this channel. Put them in the comment section below. Give me a thumbs up, share this video with a friend who would also find it helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.